Hey y'all, it's Zack, the legal tech advisor here at Lawyerist, and today I'd like to talk to you about automating portions of your law firm, specifically about automating some portions of your intake and how you can kind of get back a little bit of time by creating a small legal tech stack between Setmore, LEX Reception, and LawPay. So today I have with me Jillian Ross from Setmore, Bree Swanson from LEX Reception, and Abby Brinker from LawPay. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate your help here. So, Jillian, if you will, really quickly, tell us what Setmore is for the uninitiated.
Of course, yes. Well, thank you for having me here. Setmore is a 24/7 scheduling solution that allows clients to book in at a time that suits them and allows legal professionals to really manage their entire calendar.
Fantastic. So it's a booking solution that'll let third parties even book into the law firm's calendar and all that. Sounds like it would be very integrated with something like LEX Reception. Bree, thanks for being with us. So LEX Reception is virtual receptionists and more.
Yeah, it's great to be back on the podcast. Thank you so much for having us here. And there is a lot of integration, like you said, that can happen between Setmore, LawPay, and LEX. LEX Reception is a boutique 24-hour legal reception service. So we have live agents trained that would handle all of our attorney phone calls day and night. And the majority of our clients do have us scheduling consultations or existing client video calls or in person. We're back to in person now, which is really exciting to see that. And then our clients do have us taking payments through LawPay, and it's really slick. So I'm excited to showcase that today.
Fantastic. Thanks for being with us, Bree. And Abby, the last piece of the puzzle here, the payments piece with LawPay, which I hope doesn't need much of an introduction for people because you guys are one of the foremost payment solutions in the legal sphere. Helping manage people's IOLTA accounts and all that stuff, and getting clicked into this integration, I think is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the introduction, Zach. So LawPay is an online payment solution for legal professionals for anyone who is not familiar with our platform. Our service does allow you to get paid quickly and conveniently by your clients. And with our online platform, you do have the ability to take payments virtually anywhere and then provide your clients then with a quick and easy way to pay you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for being here. Jillian, let's kind of jump right in because I think people can probably envision where we're going with this. But if you don't mind giving us a little bit about how these three products kind of click together.
Of course, yeah. So I really want to talk today about legal professionals taking back control of their time. So a crucial way to do this is by automating elements of your business by introducing a tech stack. So with LawPay, Setmore, and LEX Reception, legal professionals can do what they do best whilst we take care of their calls, 24/7 scheduling, and take payments all in one. And that's really what I want to focus on, how those solutions stack together to alleviate some of the stress for legal professionals.
Right. So we're talking about kind of automating the processes of what a lawyer or law firm does. And, there are very few, if any, pieces of software that can be all things to all people. And so kind of talking about leveraging all the real benefits of each one of y'all's platforms, putting them together. And I kind of see them in a little bit of a straight line, in a sense, as an example, Lex being able to manage phone calls and then set up meetings through Setmore and then being able to take payments through LawPay. If you don't mind, Jillian, kind of give us paint us a picture of that too.
I feel like all legal professionals can definitely identify with. You're in meetings and your phone's ringing, resulting in missed calls, which leads to missed potential new clients and frustrated current clients. Your inbox is full of requests to book your time. Your calendar is busy, and if clients have existing appointments, they have no way to reschedule or be reminded that you have appointments. You may have payment software, but you have to take time reconciling invoices and ensuring payments are made securely. You only have 24 hours in the day, so how can you get the most billable hours and maintain a work-life balance?
This, I think, is a familiar scenario.
And we can all identify with.
Right. Especially if you're a general practitioner, but in really everything where you've got people calling into your office and you've got a set amount of people in your office to field phone calls and to schedule appointments and everything. But you hopefully are getting more and more clients. And once you get them in and get scheduled, like you hinted at, it's not just about, did I schedule them once? Am I managing my clients, and am I letting them kind of self-serve by rescheduling in a way that I'm able to control, but also making payments, because a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails that I got as a practicing attorney were, how do I pay this? Or hey, Zach, I can't make it on Thursday. Can we reschedule a Friday? And then I'm like, I can't do Friday. I could do Monday. So having that, I can see that completely. So Bree, I guess I kind of think of this as Lex being that initial piece in this a lot of times. Give me an idea of what it is that Lex is doing in this scenario.
Absolutely. And yeah, Jillian definitely paints a familiar picture, especially for solo practitioners and small law firms where potentially the volume isn't heavy,
Mm-hmm.
but those calls could come in and naturally do come in at the most inopportune times, right? So it could be that one phone call that you've gotten all week and it's while you're at the dentist and
Mm-hmm.
you miss it. So, really by leveraging technology and smart solutions, we really want to be able to help our clients get their time back so they can focus on, showing up for their clients, showing up for their family, not being tethered to the phone. And whether it's Lex or it's, a part-time paralegal that's wearing multiple hats or receptionist, just having somebody answer your phones. I have a couple tips and tricks later on for intake itself, but if you did want to go with a service that is 24 hours, Lex really is that initial step
Mm-hmm.
where we would answer all of the calls 24/7, be able to always have that payment link handy, and also the booking link through Setmore. Like you said, Zach, sometimes people just, oh, I can't make Thursday. Is the attorney available Friday? Having to get in touch with the attorney and then get back with the client and then go back and forth, rather just have a booking link that links with their Google or their Outlook so we can streamline that process. And then having somebody here 24/7, 365 days a year is also crucial. So I know Jillian's going to be showing how we can streamline that with the calendar and the payments. But yeah, having a service like Lex to be able to support the law firm, I think is really a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Well, Jillian, can we jump into to see under the hood a little bit here? See what it looks like with Setmore. I think people are a little bit familiar with some of these calendaring links and services, but seeing what it looks like, from what I've seen, it's pretty. It's nice.
Yes, yeah. We're
On
very
the
proud of
back end.
it, so I'm happy to share. I'll just quickly go over a few of the benefits and then I'll dive in and share my screen. But
Absolutely.
with Setmore, you can convert more leads into clients, so you can allow leads and existing clients to schedule appointments with you 24/7 via your online booking page. And you can share your booking page with your existing clients, and you can also allow them to get booked from your website and your social media. So we know that a
Okay.
lot of law firms are operating on these platforms. And so you want to get booked wherever your potential clients are. If they're scrolling through social media, we want to allow them to book there as well. And we also offer a kind of elevated client experience so that when clients do book, they can receive automated reminders and confirmations. So I will dive in and show you how that all looks. So this is the all-important booking page that you can have for your law firm. So you can see that you can add all of your branding and your logo. You can also add details of your address, your contact details, as well as your social media and your business hours. So it's really rich in terms of the information that it can offer to your potential or existing clients. And down the middle section here, you can see all of the services that are available to book.
Okay, so people could choose between, I could have a 10-minute intro call, or I could have an hour and a half estate planning session, and they could choose between the two of those, and I could have different times that I even make available for those?
Yes, yes. So you can fully customize the services or appointments that you offer for your firm,
Mm-hmm.
including the time, the cost, and all the details associated. And it'll immediately tie with your calendar and your up-to-date availability. So it's only going to show the services that are available for your firm and for your legal team that powers the firm. And then you can kind of look through. So this is the kind of main body of the booking page, which is where everyone wants to head and get booked straight away. But you can also look a little bit deeper and kind of find out the legal team that powers the firm. And you can also add information about your firm and why clients should choose you when they're looking for a firm to go with. And then we also have a really important review section to add in a little element of social proof, because if your potential client is on the fence and they're not sure who to book with, these reviews can really be helpful in making that decision.
Right. Yeah, and you're putting them right in front of the well, your clients and your potential clients, and I think that's one of the big things with these sorts of reviews is making it simple and easy for people to go in and look at. I like that legal team aspect of it, is that, so I assume that they could book with individuals. So if I had a team of 6, 8, 10 attorneys, or and then 5, well, if it's 6, 8, 10 attorneys, it's going to be way more staff, because the staff do way more than attorneys do. But if I have 6, 8, 12 people in my office, it looks like you could book with somebody specifically.
Yes, yeah. So if you go to book appointment and select the type that you're looking for, so I'm going to select consultation in person, and then you can go ahead and choose your legal professional from there.
Wow.
So you can just select, and then it's going to pull up their accurate availability. So I can see that this is the only time that Claudia is available. She's busy. And then I can just choose a time that works for me. I can also go ahead in time if I'm looking for something that's a little bit farther in the future, and see all of that availability. But it's fully customizable to the firm. So the booking window can be as long or as short as you're looking for. So if you only want your clients to book in a month in advance, you can tailor it in that way also. But I can just go ahead and show you what that whole process would look like for a client. So they would select the time that works for them, and then they're going to add in their contact details. And it's really important that we collect the telephone number and the email, because that's what we use to send out the automated confirmation email and reminder. And we also send a reminder SMS as well, just to add that elevated client experience, to make sure that your clients know they have an appointment coming up. And the legal professional is also notified, because the schedules of both are really important. So we want to make sure everyone is on the same page, and kind of reduce those no-show elements as well.
With the SMS, Jillian, I know that I have been saved by that personally, because I've set up my Setmore where it also reminds me 15 minutes before that I have an appointment coming up. And even though it's on my Google, it's on my Setmore, I, forget. And so those SMS, I think, not only for the legal professional, but also for the client, them getting that whether it's 15 minutes, I think you can tailor that as well with when you want those SMS reminders to go out.
You're going to have the attorney in there that has no idea how to do this, and somebody else.
Zach, all of our attorneys are organized. They've never dropped the ball at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
All I know is my staff would have been the one to say, yes, text Zack 15 minutes before. That way he knows to go to this. So yeah.
No, I was going to say it's really important to keep everyone in the loop of your schedule, and that's why we want to notify the legal professionals as much as possible, whether it's an SMS or if it's the notifications on the mobile app. We want to make sure that they've got it covered, because they've got a lot going on in their day.
Yes. So okay, I guess kind of with that, and you'll probably get to this, and so just like cut me off if you're about to go to this anyway. I assume this integrates with Google Calendar and Office 365. So if somebody is trying to schedule something, and yes, I've made 11 to 3 available, but already have an appointment at 1, that 1 o'clock appointment's not going to show up. That slot's not going to show up.
Yes. So we have two-way syncs with both Google and Microsoft 365. So we have an up-to-date and accurate availability of each legal professional. So if they have something last minute booked on one of their calendars, it's going to sync with both. So you can, make sure that you're all on the same page and have no double bookings, which is really important. I think we've all been there as well.
We have.
It's tricky. But yeah, so you put in your contact details for your client, and then you can also customize the fields on the booking page as well. So if you want to collect additional details, you can add in, date of birth or case details or anything like that if you want to collect that information from the client prior to booking. So you can customize this and add in any other fields that you want, or you can keep it as streamlined as possible.
We can also, before we would get to just scheduling on the attorney's calendar, we could ask a series, and we typically do ask a series of questions to just make sure they truly are an existing client, or if we should schedule a consultation versus, a separate type of appointment. So whether, again, you have Lex or you have somebody in the office, I would recommend kind of some of those initial questions to figure out why you're scheduling, who you're scheduling with, before you just go straight to the booking page and just pop them on the attorney's calendar with like really no details.
Who is Dave? I've had the why am I here with Ellen? I think that's important. So, Bree, in that vein, before we keep going, the LEX Reception has access to this to this page. They also have the booking link that they can send. How do the people at LEX Reception interact with Setmore, and how complex is that to set up?
It's really easy to set up, and we typically just have this exact page that Jillian is demoing. So we would pull that up, and then based on the script that we've asked the questions of, do you know who your attorney is, that we can book you straight away with them. So we know who the legal professional is. Also, a lot of times, like the page that Jillian's on, there will be a charge for a consultation. So we would let them know that. There is a $50 charge for a 30-minute in-person consultation. We would collect those payment details. So we don't typically log into the back end where we could, our team would be able to see like the integrations that are happening on the back end. But there's a lot of capabilities just on this forward facing that clients could see if the attorney shared the booking link with them, and they would also be sharing it with my team in order to see their availability on the front end.
Okay. That seems, sometimes it feels like things should be more complex than they are. And that's the keeping it simple. Just you guys have access to this booking page and are able to book for somebody while they're on the phone with you. But yet the attorney can also kind of set parameters as well, using the LEX Reception app, or even calling you guys, obviously. And it looks like we're getting into the area of that Abby kind of connects with here, of taking a payment. Jillian, this is one of the things I think years ago I tried to set up before really these platforms started recognizing that integrating with something like LawPay or some sort of good, solid, legal specific, sorry, I can't even think of the word, credit card provider, was not only beneficial, but almost necessary at this point.
Absolutely. I think, if you want to streamline the process for your clients and allow them to, get everything done in one place, you need to have a solid payment provider that you can sync with your calendar and allow your clients to make bookings and payments all in one place, and really kind of make it as simple as possible. So yeah, that was really, really important for us when we were partnering with LawPay, which we were super excited about.
One of the places where my heart just bleeds, like going back to my days of answering calls, and even recently I was on calls, when people call in and they say, I want to make a payment, and we don't have a payment link, and we can't take that money. want to immediately reach out to that client and say, do you know Abby with LawPay? Like, we can fix this problem. Instead, I find myself taking a message and saying, I'll have somebody from the firm give you a call back to take that $1,500 that has been outstanding for 3 months,
Oh yeah.
and hope that they don't play phone tag.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and one of the things that we have found at LawPay is that the longer that invoice does go unpaid, the higher likelihood that you're never going to accept a payment on it. So you really do want to be able to capture those payments up front to just get that invoice paid as quickly as possible so that you don't end up having that as an uncollected balance down the line.
As a former collections attorney, I would say that is absolutely true. And Bree, that also absolutely breaks my heart if somebody comes in and says, I just want to pay you. I just want to pay you the money. But I think most importantly here with the Setmore and LawPay integration is that this isn't just doing something with Square or PayPal or some other just regular sort of credit card provider. It's integrating with a credit card provider that manages, and can integrate with your IOLTA account properly, deal with your PCI compliance and all of those things. And so it's safer and easier to set up.
It definitely is different sending your LawPay versus like, hey, here's my Venmo. You know what I mean? Like that just
Well, and ethically it is different because they're able to go directly into your trust account. But then I know, Abby, specifically with LawPay, no fees come out of that IOLTA trust account. They're all that's the trickiest thing about an attorney taking credit cards, is that the money has to go into the IOLTA account, but no money can come out of that IOLTA account, even though fees have to be paid.
Yeah, absolutely. And LawPay does ensure that earned and unearned fees are separated. So you can connect both your operating and trust account with LawPay so that money is going into the correct account from the start. And then no fees will ever be debited from the trust account. We automatically debit all fees from your operating account on file. So it's definitely something that we built our platform around and want to make sure that we're not violating those regulations.
Right. Well, so Jillian, it looks like while we were all wandering off on talking about LawPay, you have gone ahead and made this appointment.
Yes, so I went ahead and added the all-important card details. Once you get to that payment page, you have a 5-minute window to input the details.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make sure that we could get that done. So I've booked the consultation with Claudia. The payment has been made, seamless and streamlined. So that is the whole process and how clients can really access your booking link and be able to book in straight away, anytime, day or night, 24/7, because legal appointments aren't always booked 9 to 5. It's got to be available all day and all night.
That's exactly right. Well, and not all of us work 9 to 5. Not all of us are even in kind of an American 9 to 5 time zone. But more importantly, I think of family law a lot of times, or even bankruptcy, when somebody is literally, they've awoken restlessly and it's 3:00 in the morning and all they want to do is solve this thing that's nagging in the back of their head. And if they can just set an appointment with a family law attorney and go ahead and pay for that initial consultation or whatever, it's gonna for me, it would let me go back to sleep. And that's going to happen at 3:00 in the morning, not at 8:30, not at 9. And people don't like to call and discuss their personal situation while they're at work a lot of times too.
Exactly. And that's why we want to make the booking page as accessible as possible. So you can share the booking link to potential clients or existing clients, but you can also just add the book now button directly to your website. So if you have potential clients on your site, they can just click the button. It's going to load your same booking page in an iframe. So they never actually have to leave your site.
Mm-hmm.
And they can just get booked and paid all in one go. So it's the exact same booking page. It's just in this kind of small iframe form. And then they can just do the whole process without having to ever leave your website. So it really streamlines that process even further. And then the same for your social media as well. If you have potential or existing clients on scrolling through your Instagram and they're interested in your firm, why not add a book now button directly to your profile so that they can just book in straight away and not delay that process.
Right. And you all provide that embed code to put onto the website.
Yes.
In order to create that modal and have that pop-up happen.
Yes, we have the button widget. It's really simple to implement. And we also work with a lot of different website providers to make sure that the code works and fits for all. But it's really simple, and our tech team are on hand 24/7 if you do have any questions or any issues with adding the button. But yeah, it's really, really simple. And I mean, I can do it and I have no tech experience. So
I always like that. I like the I mean, if I can do it, that's where I am a lot of times. If I can do it, most people can. So,
yeah, that's the test.
So with that payment, I think one of the biggest things, and I think this is why you guys integrated with LawPay specifically, is what does that look like after I take that payment? Because I think one of the streamlined aspects of this is that I don't now have to go hunt that down and make sure everything's okay. Because I can put a pay me using QuickBooks thing on there. I can do online payments with QuickBooks, but I then have to go change so many things. Can we kind of look on the back end of taking that payment specifically?
Yes, yeah. So when you log into Setmore, you're going to land on your calendar. This is kind of where all the magic happens and where you can see all of your appointments. But I can just navigate to the specific booking that I just made. And you can see here that it's been paid. I can select the payment tab at the top and kind of get a bit more details about that payment, the totals and the details. But I can also look a little bit deeper at all of my payments that are accepted on the account. So if I go to settings and then to payment history, it's going to load all of the payments between this little date range that I've set up here. And so you can kind of see all of your accounts in one place. You can also refund and view the invoices for all the details. And this information is all accessible in your LawPay account as well. But we just wanted to create a kind of one stop so that you can manage your bookings and your payments all in one place and really simplify that for the legal professionals.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect it to be that integrated into here. I didn't expect it to, this is what I like to call an embedded integration, where you're actually taking the information and putting it in there instead of saying information flows back and forth. This is more embedded. You've taken the functionality or a little bit of the functionality of LawPay and embedded it into this system, which looking at this is a familiar sort of look if you're familiar with LawPay.
Yeah. And you can also download it as a CSV as well. So if you want to store it in your accounts, you can do so. But we wanted to make it as easy as possible for legal professionals, not to have to, open up multiple tabs to try and see appointments and how they tie up with the payments. So we put as much information into the account as possible. But we also know that LawPay has a wealth of features that you can only access in those accounts. But this gives a really good snapshot and overview of your bookings and your payments all in one place.
Well, so that kind of leads me into Abby. What are the things that LawPay sees from y'all's perspective? This integration. What's the benefit of the integration from the LawPay's perspective here?
Yeah. So together, we do want to just all make legal professionals' lives easier and really just streamline the way that they can get paid, starting with the first contact with a potential client to setting up the appointment within Setmore and then getting that payment collected, using this LawPay integration within Setmore or just as a standalone within the LawPay system as well.
And people can use kind of the back end functionality of LawPay in here or even with LEX. I mean, you guys have QR codes that can be shared. You have specific payment pages that you could direct people to if you didn't have that, book now. I a lot of times I envision a scenario where somebody goes to booking or they do something, they get booking, that booking then rattles off some email that then puts us into an automation. And then at the end of that email automation, we get sent to something like LawPay's payment page, or even sent a QR code that'll kick me to LawPay's payment page. So having Setmore create, set off that series of events, being integrated with LawPay means that we can do it a couple of different ways, not just that book now button, but that book now button and pay now button is certainly, I'd say, the easiest way. That's pretty streamlined to me. This is what I was looking for when I was running my small business practice back 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. I previously worked with a law firm as well, and a lot of this was very manual for us. So I know a lot of these processes definitely help streamline it. And we do have, like you mentioned, the payment pages or QR codes. And I can kind of share my screen and show the LawPay side of things as well.
Yeah, let's look back there if you don't mind.
All right. So yeah, we have seen how that payment works within the Setmore system, and all of that information is going to be communicated here back into the LawPay account. So when you log into LawPay, there is a dashboard screen where you can see all the activity on your account. It gives you some nice graphs to look at, which you can change the date range on if needed. And it also shows you your most recent payments and your top paying clients here. So you can just kind of get an overview of the activity on the account. And when you go into the transactions tab here on the left, there is a column here on the right titled payment source. So if you are processing payments in Setmore, then that partner's name would be reflected here. Or if you're using any of our other different integrations, this can be a really good place to look just to make sure that every payment's being reconciled properly.
Okay, so this, if I'm a Setmore user, I'm looking on the back end of LawPay, that payment source would say Setmore.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Right here where you see Rachel's name, it would say Setmore under this column. So you would see not only the payments you're processing in LawPay, but also those integrated payments coming through.
Okay, great. That way I can make sure nothing's broken. I think, kind
Definitely.
of reconciling that and making sure nothing's broken. That's the first thing I think of with this, but then also being able to download a CSV and putting those things against each other to make sure, all of our payments are going correctly as well.
Yeah, and especially if you do have multiple users for your firm, or if you're outsourcing those payments and getting LEX Reception involved as well, and you're not necessarily involved in taking the payment, it can be a really good place to look just to see all the activity on your account.
Okay.
And there are a couple other different ways that you can get paid within LawPay. So like you mentioned earlier, Zach, we do have a payment page available. Within your account, there's going to be one per bank account. And we can also set up individual customized pages. So for example, we can set a preset amount page or a page with additional fields and kind of customize that as you need. So here I do have an operating and a trust account set up. And then when I click accept payment, this is going to give me a preview of that payment page. So you can access this within the LawPay system. And there's also a link to this page, which you can provide to your clients or add to your website as an alternative option to accept payments or to accept a retainer payment. You could add your trust account link onto your website as well.
Okay. And this is the type of thing that I could add on to one of those automated emails that Setmore is sending as a reminder or something like that. Hey, we've already scheduled this thing. Please make this payment prior to us having the actual scheduled event. Okay.
Definitely. And you're welcome to just accept payments through that booking page that Jillian was showing us earlier. This is just going to be an alternate option. There is, under this actions drop down here, you can click on show and copy page link. So that will give you the URL for each of those payment pages.
Okay.
So there's one specific for operating here, and then there would be one for the trust account as well. And then also to access those pages aside from the link, we do have the QR codes. So that's a good in-person solution. So if you have like a front desk where people are walking in and out of your office, you can display this QR code at your entrance. And we do have acrylic displays that these fit into as well. So you can have a nice little stand showing at your front desk, just allowing people to scan this QR code with their phone and then just make their own payment directly.
Is it tacky if I put that on the back of my business card?
T-shirts. Can we just like rock it on T-shirts on the back of it? Like,
yeah, put it on the side of your car.
Yeah, any way to get those payments flowing in.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I can either hear our marketing team like cheering for us or just like crying right now. So, and I was going to say too, Abby, if we do have some of our clients that don't want us to schedule an appointment when they call in. They just want us to take payments. And so that's where that booking link is really great, because if they just want to pay you, we don't want to say, okay, let me schedule an appointment and then let me go through the whole, we want to make that as easy as possible to accept those payments. So that booking link has come in really, really handy on the Lex side as well.
This is one of the things I really like about this specific tech stack, the Setmore, LawPay, and LEX Reception, is its flexibility. You can, all of these things in my mind have a major use in and of themselves outside of each other, but also coming together. It is definitely one and one making three here.
Yeah, and it definitely means you can serve your entire client base, no matter like how they want to book or how they want to make payments. You can make sure you have a solution that really fits everyone's needs.
Yeah. And then you can also customize kind of how you're getting paid for some of those. Not all clients can just pay you that balance up front. A lot of clients do require like a payment plan or different ways to break up those total amounts, which we do have the option to do. Within LawPay, once a single payment has been made, you can create a schedule from that transaction. So if they've already booked with you from your transactions tab, you could come in here and select that payment and create a schedule from that. So this would pull that payment information either from your payment page or from that Setmore booking page payment, and create that scheduled payment, so that going forward, you can schedule this as either just a one-time future payment if you need, if they need to pay the remaining balance on a separate date, or you can also set up recurring schedules to pay off a larger balance over time.
Fantastic. And yeah, I can see these, like the little mouse is cranking away at the wheel here, seeing how more integrations and setting this up in different ways that work for your clients can be happening here. Fantastic.
For sure. And I do know that Jillian showed how you can export specifically the Setmore payments into a CSV file. And you can do kind of a similar thing here within our reports tab. Here you can do a transactions report, so you can do any set date range that you'd like, or a status of payment. So you could filter this down to just completed payments that have gone through. And then we also have a monthly deposit and daily deposit report, which can be really helpful with reconciling your bank account. And then we do also have an integration to QuickBooks Online to report those deposits. So just to build on that tech stack even further. So yeah, definitely many different ways you can set this up for how it would work best for your clients.
Fantastic. Well, Jillian, I think one of the things I'd like to see a little bit more now that we've seen behind the scenes with LawPay is that the scheduling with individuals, that law firm, the all the people in there. Can you show us around a little bit there in the Setmore application?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk about how you can see not only your own schedule, but also the entire firm. So if you're managing a team and you want to, make sure that you have access to everyone's availability, you can do that within Setmore. So for example, I'm looking at Claudia's calendar just now, but I can also look at other legal professionals within the firm to see, how their schedule is looking, if they have vacations booked in. You can add your out of office, you can add your vacation time to make sure that it all ties together and you're not booked when you're on a beach somewhere. So you can really have that access to manage your entire team, or just go like really deep into your own schedule and make sure that it's all in the correct place. You can manage your calendar on the go with the app for both iOS and Android. But if you're on the desktop version or the browser version, you can just move any appointments that aren't working. So if you're running late for an appointment, or you've had a call through LEX Reception for a potential client that wants to change an appointment, you can just drag and drop those and then click reschedule. And that's going to send a reschedule email to both the legal professional, but also to the client, so they're aware that that change has been made. So you can really make these on-the-go changes straight from your calendar, and that's going to trigger the automation of the email to both. So it's really easy to kind of manage your whole team and be flexible, because we have to be flexible.
It's that kind of functionality I think that we've come to expect from our calendars, but it's not always there. You know, you think, yeah, I would just want to drag and drop this. Okay, well, you dragged and you dropped it, but did you tell anybody? You know, so being able to,
like what's the follow through?
Right. And that's where you drag, drop, and then drop the ball many times. And so I think that's an important aspect of this. And being able to see where other people have meetings as well. Being able to say, okay, well, yes, I may not be able to meet with this person, but Dennis can meet with this person. The other aspect I wanted to make sure we talked about here is that, you know, we look at the video online consultations that people have. That can obviously be through Zoom, like, you know, most people, but Setmore has Teleport as well connected with it.
Yes, so Teleport comes with all of the Setmore accounts. It's our own video conferencing software. And whether you integrate with Teleport, Zoom, or Google Meet, it's going to pull the link through here so that you can literally go to your calendar, click the appointment, and then click join, and then you're off. And you can also set reminders, which will appear on your screen, and that will allow you to just join a meeting that's upcoming. So it really just allows the legal professional to sit back almost, and we'll make sure that you're on time for your meetings and you have access to join those calls virtually.
I think that's the biggest fear when you think about a lawyer making access to their schedule easier for people other than them. You know, they're releasing a little bit of control of their schedule by letting people, you know, schedule themselves. So we really have to have something that makes that keeps things organized. It is imperative that we have something that not only keeps things organized, but also tells the attorney, tells the associate, tells, you know, whoever it is that the people are meeting with, that this is coming up. So it needs to be very organized. And it looks like Setmore has been doing this a while, so they know what things need to be done here.
And one thing that's really saved me personally, and I know some of our clients, it's almost hard to see, and at least on my screen, is with the diagonal lines. That's a buffer time that's been intentionally set. Jillian, you can explain it much better than me, so please don't miss that, because again, it has personally saved me when I am not looking at the time and I happen to run over.
Yes, thank you for reminding me, Bree. So the buffer time can be added to each service. And it really means that you set the time for a particular service, for example, 60 minutes, but you know that it can either run over or you're going to have travel time associated. So you can add on buffer time at the end of services, and that's going to automatically take that into account when it's booked. So it'll add 60 plus the 15 for buffer time to make sure that you're not back to back and have no way to get between those meetings. So that's the purpose of buffer time, and you can add that to any or all of your services if required.
Okay, so it's not just global buffer time that you say any sort of meeting I get 15 minutes, and you have to kind of decide between 45 and 15 minutes. It is based on what type of thing that it is. Okay.
Yeah, so you can, when you're setting up the services in your account, you can literally add the buffer time in. So you can have, 30 or 15, or you can have no buffer time. If you're connecting virtually, you might just be able to go back to back. But yeah, you have that option to add that buffer time in, just to give you that little bit of time between.
Okay. So that's kind of the guts of this, and the setting up the calendaring and things like that. But one last piece of the puzzle, and I think a lot of times the initial piece of the puzzle here is LEX Reception, Bree. If you don't mind, kind of give us an idea of how LEX fits into this.
LEX is a really important piece of the puzzle, or again, just making sure that your calls are answered 24 hours a day. So we've been helping law firms for over 10 years. We actually just celebrated our 10-year anniversary this last December, 2022. So being one of the first ones to help start the brand, I'm very proud of LEX. And we are, as I mentioned earlier, a legal boutique answering service. And our passion is really to support our clients answering the calls so they can spend time winning cases and helping their clients, not focusing on things that are not billable available for them. So the data shows us that 80% of callers who reach voicemail will hang up and they'll go to the next one. We are naturally impatient as human beings these days, and we just want to get it scheduled and not spend our entire Saturday dialing down the list of attorneys to handle this bankruptcy or this divorce that's a thorn in our side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to balance the calls 24 hours a day when you're trying to live your life and work on your law firm. So I just a kind of personal story about the 24-hour need. I think back to this last year where I don't know when everyone's listening to this, but we are in the early stages of 2023, and the observed holiday of Christmas and New Year's actually fell on a Monday this year. And Mondays are typically our busiest days at LEX Reception,
Yeah.
which means it's our busiest days for our clients. And so it was historically one of the busiest days that we've ever had. We were all hands on deck. I was also taking calls the entire day on both Mondays. So with a company like LEX Reception, it really gave our attorneys the depth that they needed, because most people calling in didn't realize that it was the observed holiday that the attorney was out,
Mm-hmm.
because it was a Monday and they had that day off. So that's when they decided to call and make the payment, call and schedule the consultation.
Right.
So does that resonate with you at all, Zach?
Yeah, a little bit. And that's the thing, is you want to be able to capture those payments or schedulings on time that's convenient for other people, not just yourself. But you have to set that up. Absolutely. That, man, that really does resonate.
Yeah, it was definitely a full circle moment when I was taking calls for accounts that I had sold, 3-4 years ago. I was like, oh, I love that they're still with us, and the script is great. So, yeah, with a service like Lex in our attorneys' back pockets, they were able to forward the calls to us. There's no additional charges for weekends or holidays or observed Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
We're here around the clock. And then I just wanted to share a couple tips and tricks. Again, I would love for you to reach out and, hire LEX Reception, of course. But if you're not to the point yet where you can hire LEX, I think just, of course, being able to answer your calls first and foremost, and then make sure that you or whoever's answering your calls are equipped with a script.
Mm-hmm.
You might think, oh, I know why everyone's calling. I don't need a script. But I can assure you, when you've just come out of maybe a heavy case in court, you're in stop traffic, like, you are going to forget to ask certain things no matter how many times you've handled calls. So making sure you have a script, truly while you're listening in that initial minute or 90 seconds, they're going to tell you most of what they need. They might drop their name, they might drop some contact information. So make sure you get that contact information in the beginning. I know we hear, all the time, hey, can I get your phone number in case I'm disconnected?
Mm-hmm.
It's because calls get disconnected,
Mm-hmm.
and caller ID isn't always reliable.
Yeah.
And so absolutely get their name and their phone number, email if you can, within just the first couple minutes of the call.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think just kind of wrapping it up with one of my last tips here is to always ask how people heard about you. Again, whether you're with Lex or you just have someone in your office answering the calls, you want to know where your marketing is working. If it's a referral, you want to send a thank you to them to have them send you more referrals as well. So always ask that. And then last, but certainly not least, always have your booking links with Setmore and LawPay. Somebody wants to schedule, especially if somebody wants to pay you money, make that as easy as possible. Put it on a t-shirt, put it on your car, give it to LEX Reception. We need to be able to take that payment. So yeah, really being able to leverage the tech stack and all of your technology is going to, again, make sure that the attorney is spending their time where they can bill and what they do best, which is practicing law, not being a receptionist or being, a collector. It's really being in those cases and supporting their clients.
Fantastic. And I can envision, having that, how did you hear about us, as a drop down menu on that Setmore page.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
absolutely. And I think that's great, because we are, part of this is hopefully capturing our marketing dollars. You know,
Hmm.
we can do marketing all day, every day, but if we don't have a way of scheduling with people, getting information to people, and then taking payments from people, from potential new clients or clients, we're kind of wasting our marketing dollars in that aspect.
I think lastly, too, we are talking about technology in the stack here. Lex Reception has a really slick mobile app,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of our clients utilize the mobile app where maybe they want us to transfer some calls to them, but and then they're stepping into court or they're going on holiday, they can update their status on the mobile app.
Right.
So whether they're in the office or they just need to check their messages, I would highly recommend making sure that any type of technology solution that you're going to go with has a mobile app, so you're not tethered back to your desk in order to check updates.
Yeah, and the mobile
Absolutely.
apps at both Setmore and LawPay also can help with that too. So you can then take payments on the go and work with those clients that may not have access to pay you electronically. You can still take payments from them and make that process even faster.
Mm-hmm. And again, yeah, making things simple for you as the lawyer, and then also simple for the clients or potential clients.
Definitely. We know that the mobile app for Setmore helps if you're out and about and you want to, reschedule an appointment or check your calendar for that day. You don't have time to, open up your laptop if you're on the train, but you've got the app there, and that can help keep you on track.
So yeah, obviously having the mobile apps is important. I mean, having the apps on the computer is important. Frankly, having an app that people can log into in this day and age is important. But even when we have the apps, it's not always easy to manage. So uh having some sort of customer support, having the ability to connect with one or all three of these platforms, I think is important to people.
Yeah, 100%. So at Lex, Setmore, and LawPay, client experience is super important to all of us, as well as having that human connection with our firms and our customers. And all three platforms offer customer support. So we're here to assist you whenever you need assistance. And that's why we pledge to use real people and never bots. Our friendly receptionists will help to create genuine, lasting connections, and also just be there when you need us, because things don't always run smoothly, but you're always going to get someone who's going to help you either sort out your booking page, sort out your scripting, or figure out your payments. So we're always here to support. So you can stack your tech, and then we'll help you get it all sorted.
Fantastic. And I think that's the important part here is this is a tech stack that the point is to be streamlined. The point is to get these things done that we know need to be done, but you actually have to be able to get them done. We can throw technology at the wall all we want, but if we're not going to be able to set it up, if Jane Lawyer or John Lawyer is not going to be able to set this thing up and keep it running, then it's not helpful at all. So if people do want to see more about Setmore, LawPay, and Lex Reception, and how this can help them streamline their intake and streamline a lot of their connections with their clients, they can go to setmore.com/industries/legal. And I know that if they go to Lex Reception as well, if they have a plan with Lex Reception, every one of those plans comes with the Setmore Pro plan version, and so they can kind of see under the hood there. But you can get a free demo, or you can even get a free account of Setmore by going to, again, setmore.com/industries/legal. Jillian, Bree, Abby, thank you so much for joining me. We have truly done a deep dive today, and I think we've gotten a lot of information out there. I know that this has been helpful for me. More importantly, I know that this will be helpful for the people that are watching the video. So thank you, all three of you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Zack.
so much.